Last week on Unprovoked.
I'm like, he's somebody's dream man. He's just not mine. She's like, do you know how big dreams are?
Bro.
And you stop there?
No, for real, like that. No. Everybody think about it, right? You can dream as big as the heavens. Like, you can dream whatever. Now, you think about your ex. That is someone's dream guy. The dreams are this big, and that is somebody's dream guy.
Like,
bitch, you don't want to explore all the rest that's out here? Like, my nightmare is someone's dream. Mm-hmm. I had to let that sink in.
Yo, I said that. I said, my nightmare is somebody's dream. Somebody quote that and thinks that they got the best thing in the world.
And it's crazy because you'll see, like, you might see a conversation with somebody and you'll be like, girl, like, I don't know what he did for you, but he is so great to me. And it's like, girl, he did that for me, and you're okay with that?
Like, ecstatic. Like, ecstatic.
So,
and it's
like, he's great. He's perfect. Like, that's perfect to you? Oh, baby, I pray for you. I pray.
But then at one point, that was
me.
That was me. And then it kind of makes you look like, I'm like, damn. Like, even, like I said, vulnerable conversations, we look at, I know I do, and it felt good when somebody else validated it. Like, I left my last situation and I chose me. Like, I was like, you know what? This situation is very toxic at this moment. Like, I need to choose me. And I decided to walk away. I have been dealing with I'm going to say grief, the griefing of that relationship. Mm-hmm. And I can look at you and you're in a whole nother relationship. And I'm like, a part of me is like, I have resentment because it's like, why am I the only one going through all these emotions?
You're not. They're not happy.
But it's not even that you're not happy. I did the hard work of sitting with myself and healing. And a lot of people, I had to come to the realization, a lot of people don't do the work. Don't sit with themselves.
They
just
get a new partner.
It's just a Band-Aid. The Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you know your ex, right? So it's like, you leave me and just jump into the next thing. So I know you ain't do no work. So this poor girl. But then it's like, she is accepting of something that I was accepting of. Mm-hmm. And now I might be a little further in my journey. And it's just like, damn, sis, like, I know what it's like to be there. And you think that, he is the one and the things he's telling you and this, that, and the third. And it's like, but he didn't do no work. So.
But she probably didn't either. That's why she thinks
right.
It's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's why my mind.
It's just like a lot of it is, we have this conversation about something else, but it's that grieving, the expectation of that relationship that you had. Like,
I told you, like, there was a relationship I had, and I think a lot of women go through this, and they'd be like, when you're scared to walk away, it's almost like, I don't want to give another woman the man that I created, because if I leave you now and you figure it out, and now you've made peace with the fact that she was fucked up to me, and now you start to do the work for another woman, I feel like she's reaping the benefits of the man that I created.
Of my pain. Mm-hmm. The benefits of my pain.
Yep.
But then that's, as we figure life out and like do our own work, you realize how much ego plays a part in the day-to-day. Mm-hmm. Because it's just like, so what? I had to realize, like, there's a time for everything. And that was our time. I have to figure out what was the lesson for me during that time period and keep it moving. He might leave me and be the best man to the next female. Right. Great for her, great for him. But what did I get out of this? What I got is, I got some shit I need to deal with. So that once it's my turn, I'm the best woman for the man that's the best for me. So,
because my king, your king, they out there.
Right.
My king is out there.
I said something to Brittany one time, because I get a lot of like, you don't feel like your expectations are too high, or you don't. I'm like, no. I'm like, if I settle on some like, I know these things are bad, but he's not that bad. I'm basically telling God that I don't believe that I'm worthy of like what I actually feel like I deserve. I feel like I deserve somebody loyal. I feel like I deserve somebody who's emotionally like intelligent or able to tell me his emotions or make me feel safe.
I mean, that's emotionally available.
And I feel like I deserve that. So I'm gonna go to this person and be like, well, you're not emotionally you're not emotionally available, but you're not that bad. So I guess I can see my future with
Nope,
you.
the buck stops there. That's it. That goes back to my deal breaker thing. Like, I really truly believe that I need to sit down and recreate my list, because at that point I was not tolerating a lot of the shit that I tolerate now. Like, when I created that list of things, it was just like, if I'm going on the first date with you and you have a quality on that, like there's something about you that's on that list, I know we're not going on a second date, because if that's who you are, then I'm not about to try to change that for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years.
And that'd be our problem.
Breaking myself down, trying to fix something in you to make you the perfect person for me.
At this age.
At this big age.
At this big age.
At this big age.
That plays a very important part in, like, 5 minutes, I know this ain't going to work.
Right.
Because it's like, at this big age, there's just certain things that we shouldn't be dealing with. Like, if you still, like, in between situations or trying to figure, like, you clear that up. Like, in your 30s, it's just certain things where it's just like, why are we still here? Why are we still in this realm?
At 18 on my deal breaker list, it was, do you have any girlfriends, crazy ex-girlfriends, baby mamas, or any girls who think that you are their boyfriend? Does you telling me
that's
you're
my question
single? You're telling me you single, but is there any girl in this world that's going to say, that's my man?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
Right.
The fact that we have to word these questions like that, because...
Be like, do you have a girlfriend? No. Hold on, let me go a little deeper.
And they'll be like, you never asked me that.
I asked this guy not too long ago, a couple of days ago. I said, are you dating? I mean, I don't really know what dating is. What the fuck you mean you don't know what dating is? I said, are you talking to anybody? I mean, I'm not really talking. Are you texting? I mean, yeah, I'm texting. I'm done. I'm done.
See, like, that. It's just like...
Why I gotta dumb it down for you like that?
Right.
There's nothing playing with me. You're already playing with me.
That's a lot of work. Either you are or you not.
Exactly.
And, all right, I'm going to pivot, but it makes sense. Y'all, so Jeezy said, real niggas don't cheat.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
And he got
I need y'all to listen to that interview the way y'all listen to Thug Motivation 101.
But he got so much shit for it. Like, I was reading the comments and I was like, but he dead ass right. Real men don't cheat. Like,
real men that are in tune with themselves do not cheat.
And
it goes, like, we had a whole conversation last week of how men think of, like, cheating, and now we're sitting, and it's like, if you really, really do the work and you're walking within yourself and you know yourself, you will not think cheating is okay.
You'll be able to control, like, sex will not have a control over you. And for a lot of men, most men, it does. Whatever that thing is, whether it's to get your rocks off or because you mad or, it's one time, like here now vibe, whatever it is, like that's still a level of immaturity and that thing still controls you.
Some guys say that they cheat because when they start to, start to become one with themselves, they say, I just wanted to see if I still had it. What the fuck you mean wanted to see if you still had it?
So immature. That's the thing. And it's just like, if that is in all these things in life, if your focus point is to make sure, you still got it and it's still slinging, we good. I'm good. Because that show me where your head is at. Like, JoJo, you want to give us some insight?
I'm done talking about cheating. But so I was literally just having this conversation with a man, and he was telling me all these situations about women that he's been with, that have been in relationships, and he was the side guy. And I was like, a part of me can understand why men are scared, again, to be vulnerable. And I'm like, I take it from my perspective. I've been working in the club since I was 19. The things I have seen men do to women has closed me off on some, like, I will never be so naive to be like, oh no, he's not doing that.
Not my man.
So that's why my head automatically goes to the worst, because I've seen the worst. So a part of me, like, I can understand why, why men can't trust women that, they've seen have been so dishonest or whatever the case may be. But the other part, and I was like, you say that, you believe in love, but then also out of your mouth are saying, like, I just won't get too comfortable. If you won't get too comfortable, that means you're not fully letting somebody in. I also deal with that, so I get it. But that's how I know there's work that needs to be done.
Yes, he won't get too comfortable in what sense though, like in a relationship.
In a relationship.
Well, that can have two meanings, because also you should never get too comfortable in a relationship. And not saying you shouldn't be comfortable enough to stay, right? Like, no, this is home. However, you still have to do things to keep home. So you can't get too comfortable, like, he home, he loved me, we rocking together, but it's like, are you still feeding parts of him? Is he still feeding parts of you? And that is work. Oftentimes people get in relationships and it's like, yeah, we've been rocking and this is just what it is. But it's like, yeah, but are you still pouring into that man? Like, is he still pouring into you? Is he still dating you? Is he still tapping into those sides of you that he was tapping into when you decided, I want to be his girlfriend?
Courting is very important in a relationship. Like, me and my son's father was together for 7 years, and I think year 3 is when, like, cheating started. So when he finally opened up to me, like, why is this, like, we don't do anything. We don't go anywhere. We used to do so much. We used to go out we used to have so much fun. And now, like, we live together, so now we don't, you cook, I'm outside, I come home, and that's it. We go to sleep, we do whatever, and, like, that's it. It's boring now. I had to take that as his truth. But I also had to understand, too, like, that ain't just it, buddy, because when I was dressing up every week, like, your friends are telling you, like, yo, my bitch never dress up. She never put on makeup to come outside. Like, she do that for you. Yeah, I do that for you, and you were still outside cheating. So what is it really? So honest conversations have to be had in relationships, because
I feel like
with all of that,
relationships, because even, like, I had a conversation with somebody extremely close to me, and she's, well, I love you. But love is not enough for any relationship. Like, you have to continuously pour into this relationship, whether it be a best friend, a significant other, a friend, a family member. No matter what it is, you have to consistently pour into relationships. Like, I had to step back one day and realize, like, I be on go all the time. I'm always working. Everybody knows that. And this year, I made it my point to start saying yes to things that I usually pick work over. Like, I would never go to any events, or I barely saw my family. And I had to step back, like, all my family and my friends, they're all having babies. Like, everything is life is just life, and it's fast, and everything is going so fast around me, and I'm not here to experience those moments. Yeah. So it's like, that's an honest conversation I had with myself, where I can't say I want a good friend, or I want a good man, and I want a good cousin, or whatever the case may be, and I'm not that.
Doing the work.
And I'm not that to y'all. You get me? Like, I can honestly, openly say, like, I may have not been the best. I can sit here and say all the bad things about my past relationship and still sit here and say, I probably wasn't the best of a girlfriend. I probably wasn't the best of a friend.
Listen, they just called me a bad friend. This one just called me a bad friend. So you are a bad friend. I said, why? He knew exactly what the comment was that I said. You seen it? Did you see that when they called me a bad friend? I openly talk about myself being a bad friend. I tell my friends outside of Kim that I am not the best friend. I've been working on that for years. I know that.
Let's start the word.
I do. It took, like, on our very first episode, we talked about me going to Tulum and that being a lot for me. Like, I went to Tulum for my friend's birthday, and a lot of people don't understand how much that took for me to go on that trip. Yeah. I cannot be around people for that long. Like, JoJo and I talk about this all the time. I have, like, my social battery runs low fast. So to be out the country with people, like, yeah, my friend, but plus her friends, that is, like, socially draining for me. So I'm learning. That trip took so much for me. Going out to a party. Remember when I had to go to the party and I was dreading going? I went to 2 parties. Kim knows. I talked about it because I did not want to go. I'm like, this is going to drain me. Like, all I thought about was going to this party. It drains me to have to do it. So I openly speak about how I try to become a better friend. Every day I do a little bit of work. Every day I say yes to something else. Or I know that I need to do, like I know that I have to revisit a friend because I haven't seen her and she went through a traumatic experience. But I'm also going through something myself. So I can't fully be there for you until I fix myself. I'm also fully aware of that. So I have to do the work within myself before I can fully give anybody anything. Because when I'm on zero, it's I'm good for nobody.
Yeah.
So I'm aware of that. No, I'm not the best friend. Shit, I'm okay with it.
See, and I'm struggling because now, you know, the business takes so much of me, and I'm always the friend that's there. I'm at everything.
Yeah, she is.
I'm outside. I'm here. I'm at happy hour. I'm at everything, and I had made a decision early on. I was like, I'm gonna take a year off and focus on the business. And I was struggling through that. Like, I found myself apologizing profusely all the time. And my circle, like, you know, my team, my tribe, whatever, everybody understood and was like, girl, it's fine. Like, we get it. And I just had so much guilt. But it was one of those things where it's just like, when your people know you, they know you. They know what you need. They know how you show up. Even if it doesn't look the same way as how everyone else shows up. They know. So it's like, you know, you give yourself a little grace, give yourself a break, and you work through it and do what you got to do. But you trust that, like, my people, they know my heart, they know me, and how to get to it.
My friends lie to me all the time. They be like, you're not a bad friend. Like, girl, stop lying. Stop lying. Like, I know that I could have been better in certain aspects of friend. Like in certain aspects of my friendship, but I also know that I've never chose a man over my friend, like stuff like that. I don't do stuff like that, but it's certain things that I know I could do more work in as far as being more social with my friends. Because you know, where's my favorite place?
When?
Where do I love to? On my couch. I'm a homebody. I like to be by myself. Like having company, it drains me. Like I have my mom is in my house right now. She called me today and saying, "Oh, Shanice, I feel like you starting to act," and I probably am. To my mother, not a friend, this is my mother. She's starting to see like, all right, Shanice, I'm starting to feel like I'm in your way a little bit, and I had to tell like, Mom, you're not really in my way, but now, because now I'm starting to see little things around my house. It's like I don't like that there. I don't want that there. It smells like this, and it's just like I feel like everything I'm doing is wrong, but it's not personal. That's just me starting to go into my bubble because I like to be with Shanice. I like Shanice's favorite place is right there in my house on the couch with my covers, and that's it, me by myself. But I have to also try to be a better friend. Yeah. Without being on my couch. I'm learning. I'm trying.
FaceTime? Start,
I think I might.
A couple of FaceTime conversations.
But I also will say this about me not being a bad friend. I don't want to talk about men all day long. If you calling me and you just want to talk about men, that don't work for me. We got to talk about more than men.
Then it goes to like exploring deeper sides of your friendships.
Right.
Because if that's the conversation all the time, girl, we need some more layers. We need some.
Or it's like always drama. Like, goddamn.
Drama. Or I'm just so sad. Are you calling me because you sad? Bitch, I'm sad.
We sad together.
We could be sad together, but what are you doing to fix your sadness?
Right.
Because I'm working on mine.
And sometimes that's the question. That's the conversation, right? Like, that's the pivot. Where it's just like, you calling me to dump? Okay, well, we're going to switch it. How are you changing this? Because we spoke about this last week, and then we spoke about this 2 days ago, and now we're talking about it again. So what are you doing to change it? I got time today. Let's talk about it. Right. And then that's how you start flipping things because, being a dumping ground is draining too. So sometimes you can find that people call you just to dump because you got an ear or, whatever, or you give good advice.
That's me.
When me and
See, my phone just rang 4 times.
When me and Shanice first became, like, when we first got close enough for me to notice certain things, and I've spoke about this before, she'd be like, I just don't want to talk to nobody. And I used to see it. Like, one thing about Shanice, she wears everything on her face. Because
I'm mean as fuck. Let's be very clear. I'm mean as fuck. Like,
for real?
I am. I'm very mean.
I never got that vibe.
Because I love you, girl. But I'm mean. Like, once I start to get irritated, I get mean. And, like, my family know this. Like, my sisters and my mother, they be like, Shanice, you mean. She's the mean one. That's my mean child. It's the mean sister. But it's just, like, I don't have I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't. So it's just, like, I start to wear it, and then, like, she'll notice it. But it don't be, like, I won't misdirect my anger towards her. But
no, never. But I had to have a conversation with her one day, and I'm like, Shanice, you're feeling like this because of course your battery is going to be low. You're doing nothing to add to your battery, and everybody is taking from your battery. So, of course, you feel depleted. You have no energy to even give yourself. Like, she wants to lay in the dark. She don't even need to have TV on. She doesn't have energy for anything else. So it's like you're being consumed with everybody else's issues. That's energy. We are just transferring energy, and we need to, like, even in, you know, we'll go back to relationships, because I feel like relationships is such a big part of life, because it's like,
Oh, yeah.
if it's just me in life, then I'll be straight. Like, I can get on my nerves, but I'm straight. Like, I go to work, I make my money, I come home, like, I'll figure out things to make me happy, I'm fine. But that is not reality. Because even at work, I have to deal with relationships at work. So everything is a relationship. And I started noticing now the quality of relationships that I have. Like, you know, being in a situation, it's like, you're a great company, but you are not a great asset to my life. Like, it's this relationship is now becoming depleting. Like, you're depleting me.
Yes.
And it's crazy because I'm a relationship builder. I make relationships with everybody. Down maintenance, the girls in the office. Like, I love everybody. Like, I'm cool with down to the beauty supply store. When I go in there, they know exactly. Nobody talks to me. They know exactly who I'm going to. I want to go see Joe. Hi, everybody. Hi. They ask me if I work there because I go in there so much, but I built a relationship with this one person in the store, but for going there for years. So now when I come in there, everybody, all the other associates know, first of all, give her 10% off the back. I don't give a fuck if I'm buying lashes. Give her 10%, but I've built a relationship in the store. I built a rapport with this guy, and it made me build a relationship with everybody else around. Now, if I need help, they know I don't want help from anybody else but him. And this, my son's father always say, like, you have a attachment issue. I do. I get attached to people. I get attached to things, like not materialistic things, but I do have an attachment issue with people.
Let me tell you about Shanice's attachment problems, right?
Whatever.
So she had a car. The car was on its way out.
Right.
What about it?
And the car had to, you know, she had to accept that it was on its way out.
Like, it's over. Okay.
Like, yeah, it was over. It was almost like giving CPR to something that was dead, right? Bro, when I tell you she went in a full-blown, like, depression over this car, she, like, cried over the car. And, like, I get it, bro. Like, I get it.
I still miss my car.
I get it, right?
Was it the car, or, like, it was like, okay, this car is gone, I won't have one?
It was both. Well, for one, I'm absolutely missing my right side camera from my right side turning. I'm missing my camera terribly. Like, I missed that camera, but it was also like, all right, I didn't want to put myself into another situation. Like, my car was paid for and stuff like that, so it's like, now I got to get into a lease. Now I got to, like, I just didn't want to deal with that. So it's just like, I get attached to things, and I be happy with my attachment, but I also know it's something I have to work on. I'm working, y'all. I'm trying to do the work in more areas than just friendship. Shit.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
And that's the thing. It's like, yo, being honest. That's why it said things that are sent to provoke you. Relationships, extremely provoking. You know, dealing with trauma.
All relationships, not just a
right, not just like
friendships
romantic.
with your parents, siblings. Like, all those relationships are like, you have to work on those in every area of life. Like, we all know we have relationships. I have to work on a relationship with my mother. I have to work on a relationship with my father. I have a great relationship with my sisters, but I'm also making sure that I'm working on these relationships so that none of this is trickling down to my relationship with my son. I never want him to be a certain age and be like, well, mommy, I felt like you didn't do this when I was younger, or you ignored that, or you didn't see that, because I'm going through my own shit.
Yeah. I feel like the only relationship I can say I am 100%, I try always to give my best to, is my brother. And, you know, I feel like we went through a lot of trauma together, so I always had this, like, overwhelming feeling to, like, be everything. And then, like, I might not be perfect in all areas, but let me try to be perfect for him. And I always used to say, like, when I used to go to therapy younger, because I've been in therapy for a very long time, therapy doesn't work unless you do the work. So was in a very long time, and I can say I probably stayed in the same spot for a long time. But I used to sit on the couch consistently and always say, I'm here because I don't want to have a kid one day that has to deal with the issues I passed down to them. Because we need to accept that, like, that is very much a thing. Like, as much as you're bringing a baby into this world and you can, they have shelter and they have all these things, but you're also bringing in the trauma that you aren't ready to deal with. So now it's, like, generational.
Yeah.
And, you know, I go through something similar, like, with my own, like, mom. my grandmother to my mom is very on top of her. She's very overly involved. My grandma is the type of person that she's just there at all times. Like, she's very overly involved.
That's my girl.
And my mom, on the other hand, she felt my grandma to be intrusive in some areas, where my mom tries so hard not to be like that, where it comes off in a way like she's not involved at all. So it's like you trying so hard not to be like her, and you're coming off like this, and this might not be working either. Mm-hmm. So we need to find like a middle ground.
Right.
Parenting is hard though, I will say. That's why I give, like, in any conversation about parents, it's like I give a little more grace now as a mother, because I understand that
you're a human, like
they deal with their own traumas. Like, I know for a fact my mother's dealing with trauma.
Right.
Like, I know that for a fact. Like, I told her today in the car, I said, "Ma, I genuinely enjoy just being around my cousins," because her sister called her, and I said, she has four. It's 4 of them. 3 of them are going to go up for Thanksgiving to my aunt's house. I said, they're going to argue the night before. My mother said, I'm not going up the night before. I said, good. Because there's going to be an argument the night before. But I said, I genuinely enjoy just being around my cousins. Because whenever y'all are around, it's something. But they are also all dealing with trauma. So whenever the cousins are amongst each other, we might have a conversation about our parents. We also understand that they are dealing with their own trauma from their past. Mm-hmm. So whatever is happening with us amongst my mother's household, my aunt's household, it's... They don't really see any fault in some of the things that they went.
Normal.
It's normal to them. Like, so their normality to what happened was normal to them is like, well, mommy, I feel like you doing such and such and such. They don't get it. They don't see anything wrong with that. So I try to give a little bit more grace now that I'm a mom, because my son might be seeing shit in me that's just like, he'll tell me, he'll be like, Mom, you hurt my feelings. And I will apologize to my baby over and over and over and over. Let's go have ice cream. Let's do something to make you feel better, because I did not mean to do that.
Meanwhile, with the way we grew up, it was like, you hurt my feelings. Well, I'm the adult.
Oh, my mother to this day will tell me, what? I'm your mother. I said, Ma, what that means? She was like, I'm your mother.
What? Ma'am. Ma'am. Right.
Well, I'm your mother. Like, what does that mean?
But like, no, I had to learn, like, in figuring my shit out, that it's like giving grace to our parents. Because you have to remember, like, mental health, talking about trauma and all
is new.
It's very new. That's very us. Yeah. Very millennial.
Yes.
So then they didn't have the resources or anybody to even talk to about trauma. Like, certain family traumas are still like family secrets. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean it's not trauma. And it's like, okay, you took with what you had and tried to do better with me, but you were only equipped with a hammer and pliers. Right. Okay, I have a full toolbox.
Right.
So I have to extend grace. Granted, it doesn't take away from my experiences, but knowing what I know, I can understand how you came to certain decisions or why you did certain things you did or things like that. And then some of us have the privilege of knowing our grandparents. And our grandparents may treat us different. You know, oftentimes we find our grandparents try to like right their wrongs, you know, or like parents even do that with like younger kids or whatever. But it's just like, okay, like y'all have y'all thing. So in seeing certain things and seeing how my mother especially would interact with her siblings, it was just like, all right, I have to extend grace because she only did what she could with what she had.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. And that's where it's like, it's very hard. Like, even, you know, like openly discussing that, you know, my dad had a drug addiction. It was taking this is my dad and you chose drugs over me, and having to look at him like, you were a human that were battling demons that were bigger than you. You know, that was hard. And I had to, the moment I started giving him grace was the moment I was able to actually start healing. Because it was like, I took it as like, well, you were a terrible fucking parent because you're selfish. Like, you literally chose drugs and all this stuff over us. Now, the side of like compassion, I'm like, you were hurt. Like, you were very hurt. And it wasn't, you weren't raised in a household where you can say, you're like, I'm hurt. Mm-hmm. Like, what you're doing to me is hurting me. and your vice was something that basically killed you.
Yeah.
And it's hard. So it's like, you know, and now I have one living parent. So like when she falls off a little bit, I think I take it a little harder because it's like, bro, you're all I got. But then again, like I sit down and I got to give her grace because it's like, one, I know everything you've been through. We've been through it together at this point. Yeah. Two, I don't know what you was been through before me because you was dealing with a whole bunch of trauma before you even had me. So it's like you're trying to do your best. And I feel guilty for saying your best is not good enough in a way. Mm-hmm. Although it is, it's just, again, that expectation that I'm putting of something in my, because I'm going through my own healing, so this is how I feel things should be. You might not be there yet. Does that mean I got to love you less? No. But it just got to be, there's got to be a lot of acceptance of you didn't know any better.
You only had a hammer.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And you just touched on something. We spoke about this where it was just like, you know, the picture. We have pictures in our head of what we expect things to be. So you get in a relationship and it's like you start painting this whole picture. This is my husband and this and I'm gonna be with him forever and blah 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 blah. We have the same pictures when it comes to friendships, family relationships, etc. And it's not fair for us to cast those expectations onto someone else, especially when they don't know the picture that's here. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, well, you're doing this and you're not doing that, but it's just like you're still in this picture that you have in your head, and they like, what's up? Like, what's
being
going
weird?
On? Yeah, and it's like you're just not the person I thought you was, or you're not. This isn't turned out how I expected.
You wanted to be.
That's crazy because that's a big comment. Like, you're not who I thought I was. Girl, you put that own thought in your head.
Right.
Like,
I showed you who I was.
And I think
it's a picture.
I think the picture is the very, like, a big, because some people hang on to relationships for the picture.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And they want to see that thing through.
Like, no this is
what reality
this
says.
This is what I pictured. You're who I pictured it with. And we gonna live it out even though it's not fitting no more. We trying to force a circle into a square, but we gonna make it fit because the picture. That's
like loading that suitcase up. I'm gonna get this last pair of shoes in here.
Yes, like
you're not playing.
Like this is going
my flat iron, everything
shit about busting over
my shit. But you're right, exactly.
And
but
out here trying to get the zipper.
Yeah, you sitting on it now, like
this work.
Yeah, I'm getting this shit together.
This was never meant to work. Like the picture versus reality are always different.
Mm-hmm. I feel like
I think that's something I kind of got to work on too because I'm quick to be like, I'm so in love, mommy. Like, no, baby, he's not. He told you who he was in the beginning, but you saw what you wanted to see, and that man is not who you thought he was. So we all got areas in life that we need to work on.
You know, the journey doesn't end.
So in conclusion, know yourself, love yourself,
be one with yourself.
You know?
Talk to yourself.
The girl's got a word, honey.
No, yeah, I do think that you do need to be a lot. Like, that is some serious work that we all need to do. Like, I've just learned how to start being one with myself. Because, of course, I was in a relationship for so long. So, coming out, I was like...
Right.
I didn't know what I was doing. So, I was wilding when I first got into my... Wilding. You know?
I mean, like me, I can't say I've been in a relationship, like, my whole life. But I feel like I was searching for love in everywhere else except for myself. Mm-hmm. So now that I know what love looks like for myself, I now get into situations, relationships, and I have to look at them like, you can never love me the way I need you to love me because you don't love yourself the way you need to love yourself. Because if you loved yourself, you wouldn't be doing everything you're doing. You wouldn't talk the way you talk. You wouldn't live life the way you live your life. You know, like that love for yourself. Even, you know, we have 3 women here who all are in different professions, but we all bet on ourselves. 100%. Betting on yourself requires a different type of love and respect for yourself because it's like, I'm not putting my future in somebody else's hands. I'm literally taking it for myself. And believing that I have something inside me that's capable to get it is a different type of love for yourself, a different type of respect for yourself. And also, definitely lost my train of thought.
Because she was going.
It was
flowing like the river. Okay, flowing. Okay.
Damn. But the other part of that, like the other bad part, is that, you know, how we said ego takes over. It's like, I know I have everything to make myself successful, and I still try to act like, well, maybe that's not for you. Or maybe you're not good enough. Or, girl, give it up. Like, you know you ain't going to be successful in that. Everybody's doing that. But it's like, you can't take 1,001 people could be doing something, but you can't take away God's calling for me.
Exactly.
That's a fact. You ever seen that meme that said you throw Wonder Bread wit in the store and saw Sarah Lee and said, I ain't doing this?
That's hilarious.
You ever go to that bread aisle? All them bread. You think Wonder Bread went in there and
I'll
said,
probably get like
I
a
ain't doing this.
Martin's, a Sara Lee, and a Wonder White, a Sara Lee honey wheat, and a Martin's
You thought he
potato.
went in there.
Period. It's all
Listen,
bread.
You thought Tropicana went in there and saw fucking Sunny D and said, I'm not gonna make no juice. No, I don't care who's in what lane. It's enough room for all of us to win.
Right.
Always.
Because it's like what I said, like, you can't take away God's calling for me.
Right.
If he called me to do it, he gonna make that extra lane for me. He gonna make that extra.
The lane is already there for you.
Right.
You kind of just gotta see it through.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
see it too.
like something like that always reminds me. It's a meme where it's just like, it's Jesus.
Oh, with the
big
bear,
teddy bear.
with the
Right.
bear,
And it's the girl with the little teddy bear. She's like, but Jesus, I don't wanna.
Do you trust me?
And then it was just like, sometimes you just gotta trust and give like what you think you can do and receive what God can do for you and walk in expectancy. Like, y'all, I mean, you know, when I branched out, I was crying the first week every day, boo-hooing and crying. One out of, I was grieving my past, but I was so grateful because how God orchestrated everything. I tell people in a heartbeat, it's a miracle. It's a miracle. And I was just so grateful that God like saw me fit. And it just made me like, okay.
because he saw something in you ain't seeing yourself
For years.
Because even I was having this conversation today with somebody. I got off a business call and I told somebody immediately after, and I'm like, a year ago today, I was trying to find my way. Just trying to find a way. Not even my way, just trying to find a way.
Right.
And it's like, now you provided me with what I asked for plus more. And that's why I feel like the anxiety is because it's like, oh my God.
It's overwhelming.
It's over. What this is a lot.
This is a lot.
It's so much of abundance. And I ask for this, and I have to pray every single day, like, God, please give me the steps that I need to take to accomplish what you're putting in front of me.
Yep.
Because it is, like, this is a lot. And I didn't expect it to be so quick, so I ain't even all the way together yet.
And that's the thing, because it's like, you know, once I started realizing the same thing, it's just like, this is abundance. Like, now I don't want to fumble it.
That'd be the problem. We so
over
scared to mess it up. And
I don't want to mess over these blessings. You ever feel like your grandmother say, don't mess over that food, so you feel like you got to eat it all? Yeah, I don't want to mess over this food. Like, Lord, like I'm grateful, and just help me figure it out, because I know you gave it to me, so I know you'll show me a way. So just know I'm here.
But that holding on so tight, sometimes we don't even realize, like, we don't have faith in that there's more. We don't have faith that there's more. There's more to this. There's more.
But sometimes the more scares people. I used to have a fear of success. And it wasn't until, like, a lot of things, but told you I talked to myself, that I had to admit to myself, you're afraid of what's going to come with being successful. And not the amount of work, because I worked since I was 16 a lot. But, like, just the abundance that's going to come with it.
Right.
You might be comfortable handling this little bit of abundance. Like, got me a good paycheck. You know, I can come and go as I please. Like, I can maneuver this. But then it's like, what if I give you more? That is overwhelming. Because, yeah, it might be nice, but it's just like, this is too good to be
Like,
true.
hold up.
Right.
See, there it goes. That it's too good to be true. Because I was telling Shanice that, and she's like, "You live in a constant state of anxiety," like, and I'm like, "I do."
But I feel like that's I mean, that is a sense of imposter syndrome.
And I thrive.
It's like,
in
why don't you deserve it?
with chaos? Oh my God, I thrive in chaos.
Give me organized chaos.
It's a constant. Like I'm always running. I've always had something to do, so I'm not in my head.
I thrive in
I'm never in my
chaos
head
too. And like even today, I was telling my boss, I'm like, "Well, I can do it." He's like, "Kim, you need to slow down because I see you're that person that's willing to take on so much." I was like, "But I can do it. Like I could do it." And he's like, "I'm not doubting that you can do it. I'm just saying your success is going extremely fast. Like I've never seen somebody get so much so quick. Like you're becoming very big, but you're also taking on too much." He's like, "You're gonna crash out.
Gonna burn out."
And I'm like, okay. And it's so hard because I thrive in chaos. Like if you ever see me at a bar when
That's
it's
why
busy,
you waking up with anxiety.
oh my God, so bad.
Listen, revelations right in front of y'all. Add
Revelation.
that to the new thing to work on. Like shit.
Yeah.
Like why am I thriving in chaotic situations?
I do. I don't care.
Growing up, to be honest, like my life was chaotic. So it's like you just figure out how to deal with it.
You make it work.
You know, like your dad might be on the news today, but you're going to school and you're gonna act like everything's okay. I'm thriving in chaos. Like
Yeah.
I just go on like nothing ever happened, and I'm gonna do the best possible in a fucked up situation.
Yes. No, because you said it, and it was just like, how does that turn into a positive? Because it's just like, all right, it may not be chaos, because chaos, everybody knows the definition of chaos, but it's like, I can thrive under pressure.
Yeah.
And it's one thing, like, just a little tweak of a word can tweak a mindset, which tweaks how you show up in different situations. So now it's no more like chaos, like, ha, 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 this, that, and the third. It's just like, all right, I have a lot on my plate right now. Let me figure out. The way you even approach it is different, you know? So.
That's true.
We learning and growing by the minute, y'all.
I'm trying.
Next time, I'm getting 3 bottles of wine. But that was, like I said, we wanted Brittany on for a long time because we have conversations like this way too often. So it's definitely going to be a part 2, 3.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Like, comment, subscribe, and give us what you want to hear next time too.
That's right.
I did the whole thing this time.
Yeah, about time.
Shanice tired. Shanice tired.
Shanice tired.